All right. Hi, my name is Heidi Marciniak, and I am presenting Chapter 11, Prosocial Behavior. Prosocial behavior is any act performed with the goal of benefiting another person. More specifically, altruism is the desire to help another person, even if there is cost to the helper. Why do people help? First of all, one factor to talk about is evolutionary psychology. This goes back to like Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, natural selection, that it favors genes that promote the survival of the individual. And this we can talk about kin selection. This is the idea that behaviors that help a genetic relative are favored by natural selection. In other words, one would help someone related to them subconsciously to make sure that their gene pool survives. This goes also on to the norm of reciprocity, which is the expectation that helping others will increase the likelihood that they will help you in the future. The social exchange theory argues that much of our decision to help is based on the desire to maximize our rewards and to minimize our costs. In other words, we help consciously or unconsciously because we think we can gain something from it. This can be an investment in the future. It could be done to relieve a personal distress, to gain approval from another person, just any other kind of personal gain. Empathy and altruism. In many cases, people do help just simply to help. This can talk about empathy and the empathy altruistic hypothesis, which is the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes and to experience events and emotions the way that person sees them, and in turn, sympathize with them and want to help them. Why do some people help more than others? Some people just have an altruistic personality. These are the qualities that cause an individual to help others in a wide variety of situations. With this, there are many factors that come into play that aid in altruistic behaviors. One of these is gender. It is known that men are more likely to help in physical ways, like risking their lives or jumping into an emergency situation. Women are more likely to provide social support or engage in volunteer work. Culture can also play a role in helping. People will help people that they have a connection with, yet this is not always the case. So this goes to talk about in-group and out-group. In-groups are the groups in which an individual identifies with as a member. So people, if someone that they are like in a group with or a club with, or somebody that they have a connection with, they might be more likely to want to help that person. There is an out-group, which is the group in which an individual does not identify with. And in some cases, people want to help these people too. They sympathize with them and they have empathy for these people, and they do want to step in and help people that are not in their group or in their culture. Religion can play a part in why some people help more than others, but not in totally the way that you think. Though the act of helping isn't directly correlated with religion itself, people who are religious are people who are more likely to want to help other people. Mood plays a role in whether or not we decide we want to help, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a good mood. Even bad moods can trigger the desire to be helpful. Possibly you're feeling really, really bad one day, and you see an opportunity to engage in an altruistic behavior, and you choose to do so to try and boost your mood a little bit and make you feel better. When will people help? At times, social situations come into play with one's likelihood to help or not. Environment is one of these things. It is known that people in rural areas are more likely to help. Even people that are originally from an urban area, and they are currently living or just even visiting a rural area, they are more likely to step in and help in some kind of situation. This goes to talk about the urban overload hypothesis, which is the theory that people living in cities are constantly bombarded with stimulation. and that they keep to themselves to avoid being overwhelmed by it. So if people are in a quieter, calmer place, they are just more likely to step in and help. Residential mobility is when somebody is living in a place for a long period of time, they feel more of a connection to that place or an investment to that place. And they're more likely to want to help with certain things or events or emergencies in their community. The next thing is the bystander effect. It is known that the less people that are around, the more likely one will step in to help. The bystander effect specifically is the greater number of bystanders who witness an emergency, the less likely any of them are to help. This can happen for quite a few different reasons. First of all, when there's so many people around, you just might not really notice that the emergency is going wrong. You just, are distracted by all the people. Another thing is when there's a lot of people around, you can interpret the event wrong. You look around at people's faces and you just get cues to assess the event, and you might assess it wrong and not recognize something as an emergency and, not realize that somebody needs help. Diffusion of responsibility happens too when there's a lot of people around. The sense of responsibility to help decreases. Everybody thinks somebody else should be the one to do it. And this can happen because, somebody might not know how to help. They might be feeling afraid. They might feel unqualified. Video games and music lyrics are also known to have a play in prosocial behaviors. Games and music lyrics that promote prosocial behavior will promote the altruistic behavior. When people hear nice lyrics or play nice games that depict these things, it subconsciously makes them want to partake in these things as well. How can help be increased? Well, we can teach people about the barriers to bystander intervention. It's known, just like even in classes like this, just making you more aware of the things that make you not step in and help can, subconsciously make you want to help the next time and assess the situations a little bit better. So you're more capable of stepping in yourself when you normally wouldn't. You can remind people of past situations that they acted in inhibited ways. Reminding them of something they did at one time that was kind of out of their norm, maybe give them the confidence to step in at another time. We can encourage volunteerism. With encouraging, though, we want to watch the external rewards, just like we talked about in past chapters. You want to promote internal rewards to make people want to, continue to do these things, continue to be helpful later on their own. There's the field of positive psychology. It's a new field that concentrates on the qualities of a person to promote empathy and altruism. Although social psychologists are more looking at the situations in the environment around a person that makes them want to be more helpful. My real world connection is with the Las Vegas shooting. The whole time reading this chapter, and I knew I was going to be doing the PowerPoint, my mind just immediately went to there because it was such a current event. On October 1st, 2017, Stephen Paddock from his hotel room opened fire on the crowd at a music festival, killing 58 people and injuring hundreds and hundreds more. There was true altruistic behavior going on this night. So many people took the initiative to help people around them escape the line of fire. And it was the fire, the rescue people, the policemen. There was military people that were just attending the concert, and just normal people attending that concert. So many of them stepped up to help get people out. There were people lying on top of each other to block them from getting shot. People using their vehicles to help get people to the hospital. I mean, just so so many selfless acts happened that night, which is really great in this horrible incident. The reference was the textbook, and that was my presentation. Thanks for listening.